Hello there in Google, YouTube land. This is Todd from Travel is Fun. We will be starting in about 6-7 minutes. I was glad you did. I didn't get real. Yeah. I know 3 people that'll work on it.
Eventually you can get on the 75.
Carl Duffin works on it.
Just to go to
Carl is untrainable.
Go to Indianapolis. That's a long way. They're going through towns. And I remember 241 all the way down, just before they built I-57. Now I take I-57 fast. You're doing 70, 80 miles an hour. There's no big towns. You can shoot right down.
That way, what way? They've been doing it for 7
Like this. That's 65 going down, then you get off at that. Nobody can take this. I think that's 30. Take 30 to 31. 31 takes you right into Oklahoma and Indianapolis. You're right off at 31.
How are we doing? I'm ready too.
Every year they have a
We have 3.5 minutes. Okay, what are we saying?
You should go all the time, but it got so big, and most of my friends are all dying, so they don't know that. All the Vietnam vets are all dying too. Most of the world, people are all gone. They're all gone. For them, that's anyway, and then we had a birthday support. My friends died last year. They died. So the Japanese Agent Orange out with their spraying, they said they asked the lieutenant, it's a service well, just to kill the vegetation so that the boots can't happen. They said actually about us, they were up on the safe. And one friend back in Agent Orange came back. I don't think the government, you ever see what they say, right? You don't know they're going to be in 1 year. My person, I joined. So what about these hands? But you only got 1 month. We got that with you. That's what that's going to take over. So the government will like you. They were mad.
all that. I had one with my son.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Time to start settling down, people.
My son's been in the Air Force 10 years. He likes it. All the services. I saw it. And I had a friend in the Air Force, just this guy at a bar, dirty.
1 minute. 1 minute till start.
See this guy standing there with Bermuda shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. He said, "Hey buddy," he said, "you're tourist here." He said, "No,
That's ready.
just like that."
1 minute till we're starting. Here we come.
They don't agree.
They might listen to you. I may have to bring my lifeguard with me next time. Even if it's a robot, he's doing it. All right, folks, I got 1:30. It is time to get started.
Already just started.
Who's ready for Travel Club? All right, let's say hi to the folks at home quick. Hold on. Everybody at home, this is the gang. Say hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to lock you back in place here. And time to start. Welcome to Travel Club, first one of 2022. Happy New Year. If you don't know me, I'm Todd Kennedy. I am one of the folks who runs Travel is Fun Tours. If you didn't know us, we are a small family-owned business. We're located in this very shopping center right around the corner by the barber shop. We've been here since about 1991. My dad and my sister are over there hiding in the office because they don't like doing public presentations. So they leave this all to me. And that is the sad truth, isn't it? You can tell they're watching. We are responsive to your needs because we want you coming back. Not only that, we want you having such a good time. You go home, you tell your friends, your neighbors, strangers on the street that you had a great time with Travel is Fun, and they should try us too. We are fully licensed and insured, and that is really important in this day and age. There are folks out there trying to get your money out of your pocket and not give you anything in return. We've been in business over 40 years. We know how to handle money. We have weathered COVID, and we're bouncing back. December was a good month. January is looking like a good month, as you're going to see. So I think we might be through the worst of this. We use up-to-date modern motor coaches. We ride with March first class. Our current coach is in 2018 60-seater, restroom equipped, has full audio, video. If you haven't been on the bus with me lately, it's got Bluetooth, what's magical about Bluetooth is I can play music for you from my phone and control the volume from my seat. So I'm not bugging Jesse to turn the sound up and down every third song. The only downside of that is if somebody calls me, you're all on the phone call with me. So that can be kind of rough. Here comes the bus, and we do lots and lots of day trips every month. Those are on this here white sheet. If you don't have one, Ollie's got one for you in the back. She'll be happy to share with you. She won't even charge you anything for it. We go to dinner theaters and casinos and shopping trips and all kinds of other good stuff. We also do the overnight tours. The overnight tours are listed on the back of that white sheet. Now, the overnight tours are in their own little box on the white sheet. So when somebody tells me I skipped the trip, it's on, or it's not on the sheet. It's on the back of the white sheet in the block for the multi-day tours. Each multi-day tour also has its own sheet on pastel colored paper to set that aside. We have an optional travel club. Doesn't cost you anything. It costs you $14 to join, $10 to renew after the first year. You get $2 off the trips you take. You get a nice name tag. It'll have your name on it. It doesn't have to say Mabel unless you want it to. It is not necessary to be in the club to go with us. The only difference is you're going to get $2 off and get the mailing and get a name tag. So anybody can go on our trips. Has everybody got that?
Yes.
Good. I don't want folks going around spreading rumors. You can't go on Travel is Fun trips without being in their club. Somebody did that to me. Bottom line with us, we're always friendly and courteous. We're always am I friendly and courteous all the time, Carl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Do I make you feel welcome, even though you're mean to me?
Yeah.
All right, good. We make sure you're comfortable on the bus. Now, buses are a little tricky. There's one thermostat. So how many of you are going to think it's too hot on the bus?
Never.
About half of you. How many of you are going to think it's too cold?
Yeah.
And you might be sitting right next to each other. You probably are. And 3 or 4 of you will be like Goldilocks and think this is just perfect. So it's always a good idea to dress kind of light, but bring a jacket or a blanket or something, and you can adjust your own temperature where you're sitting. Most of all, we want you to have fun. We spend all of our work week in that office working out the details, ironing out all the kinks to make sure you're going to have a great time on the tour and not have to worry about a thing. So we're going to have Where in the World contest, speaking of fun. Does everybody have a little yellow slip?
Yes.
You guys don't have one? We got a couple up here, Miss Ollie, that need a yellow slip. So get your yellow slip. And while Ollie's passing those out, we'll go over the rules once again. Winner gets $25 off their next Travel is Fun trip. Do not yell out the answer. Do put your name on there, because if nobody gets the right answer, then we will have a drawing. It is a place Travel is Fun has gone before. Best answer wins the prize. So if you have a better idea than your neighbor and more details, hey Ollie, you want to know where it is, guys?
Well, I didn't see it yet.
Let's see. No phone a friend, no using your smartphones. 1 win per calendar year. So the only person who's out this month is
Nobody.
Buffy. Oh, no, wait. You're right. You got it in December, didn't you? So everybody's eligible. So should we bother doing this or just give it to Barbara Garabrandt right now?
What about me?
Or Marina, or Mary. They're my ringers in here. All right, you guys ready? I'm going to show you the picture. Here it comes. Now, I did the same one this morning at Harbor Lights, and I had a ton of wrong answers. Good answers, but all wrong. Just so in case you were going to guess this, it's not my house.
Or Myers.
All right, you guys ready to move on?
Sure.
Let's go. Highlights of upcoming trips. Let's talk about the rest of January. Saturday, Wendy's taking a bunch down to the Red Barn Flea Market to do some shopping. And you guys are all under solemn orders to make sure her credit card stays in her wallet the entire time. I'm going to give her $4 for lunch money. We have about 4 or 5 seats left on that one, and it should be a real fun trip. Sunday, we're going to see Ring of Fire. That one's also got 3 or 4 seats left. That is the Johnny Cash musical, and that's at the Suncoast Broadway Theater up in Hudson. Lunch Bunch next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. We're going down to Maine and Sarasota. I got about a dozen seats open there.
Wow.
Friday, the 21st, we're going to Wild, Florida. We have just enough people to run it, so we could use a few more. It is a great animal park, and it's over in Kenansville, Florida. Who's proud of me for remembering that finally? It's a great park. We're going to do a drive-through first, drive-through safari. The bus will stop by the giraffe area, and you can feed the giraffes. When we get to the animal park, you can walk through the boardwalk and see all the animals. They also have exhibits. You can go in the gift shop and buy a ticket to go in the cage with some of the animals. I did that for Wendy a few years ago, and we got to hang out with Guy the tree sloth for about an hour. He was a very good host, very friendly. You can also have lunch with an alligator in the alligator cage, which nobody has taken us up on yet. Don't know why. Wait list. We're on a wait list for Amelia Island and Fernandina Beach in January, but there's another one coming, so I'll tell you more about that. Now, if you see a wait list on something, that's not the end of the world. Just means we filled the bus for that particular trip. But if you would still like to go, tell us. We'll put you on the waiting list. When there's a cancellation, we will work on getting you a seat. That's how that works. It doesn't cost you anything to be on the waiting list, so that's a pretty good deal. January 26th, I'm down to about 4 or 5 seats on the St. Pete History Tour. We will be having a late lunch at Dock 4. We're going to eat lunch about 2 p.m. So if you're on that one, have a real good breakfast or bring a little snack because lunch will be a little tardy on that. We've got Over the River and Through the Woods at the Off-Broadway Palm. That's on the 28th. The Dade City Kumquat Festival, you notice, has a yellow light. That means I have just enough people to run it. But if I lose a few, then we won't go. So we could use a few more folks. It's one of the best small town festivals you'll find. Very well organized. And if you're ever curious, what can I do with a kumquat? Well, you can get all your kumquat answers at the Kumquat Festival. St. John's River Ship, that is either on a wait list or has 1 or 2 seats. It's been bouncing back and forth. So it could be either status right now. And then we've got Circle Tampa Bay with Visiting the Manatees. That's on the last day of the month, January 31st. And that'll include lunch at the Texas Roadhouse in Riverview. Yes, yeehaw. So speaking of Amelia Island and Fernandina Beach, we have a second running of this trip, February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you would like to join us on it, we'd love to have you. The price is about $20 higher because the bus rates are going up in January, or rather February. You get 2 nights at a beautiful Hampton Inn, Amelia Island. You got views of Cumberland Island. And what's exciting about Cumberland Island? Horses. They got wild horses that hang out on Cumberland Island. So on a nice clear day when you can see across the water and see to the beach, you'll see the horses running around doing horse stuff, or whatever horses do. We've got a historic guided tour. We've got the Beach Creek boat tour up there. We're going to do a trip along the Atlantic coast coming home. And then a little short time, about 2 hours in St. Augustine, just to give you a chance to wander down St. George Street, maybe get a nice lunch. Go to the jail, yeah. Some of you have more experience than others there, Ed.
Go to the distillery.
You won't have time for the distillery on that one, but I've got a solution for you. Saturday, February 5th, we're going to go to the best family-oriented zoo in the country. The Tampa Zoo at Lowry Park is their correct name these days. If it's been a decade or so since you've been there, it's not the same zoo. They've got fantastic exhibits. You can walk right in with wallabies. They're kind of like smaller cousins of kangaroos. You can feed giraffes there. They've got a great elephant exhibit. They've got a lot of great ape exhibits. I will warn you, be careful around the orangutan exhibit. It's a big circular area, and they live on an island on the other side of a little moat. And the orangutans have very good throwing arms, and you don't want to know what they throw. So if you see an orangutan winding up, make sure you look for something to stand behind. Like a tall guy. Like have Ed in front of you.
My shield.
They do have good food there, too. They have several different restaurants at the zoo. February 10th, we're going to do highlights of Lakeland one of my favorite little towns. Come see it while it's still a little town before it becomes a suburb of the megalopolis of Tampa, Orlando, as they grow into the center. We're going to spend the morning at one of my favorite places, Florida Southern College. If you don't know all about Florida Southern College, it's very, very unique. It's called the Child of the Sun campus, and it was designed by world-famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. It was actually constructed by the students starting back in about the 1930s. So a lot of them, to pay their tuition, poured bricks and did sidewalk work and built the buildings that were there. One of the tour guides that I used to know there, she actually worked on some of the buildings when she was a kid.
Where's that at?
That's in Lakeland.
The Lakeland, sir?
On February 10th. We're going to have lunch in the school cafeteria. Great cafeteria. The food is fantastic there. Then after lunch, we've got a step-on guide from the Chamber of Commerce who's going to take us around and talk about the history of Lakeland. You're going to find out about a gift from the Queen of England that's still there. You're going to find out about the Wizard of Oz connection to Lakeland. And you're going to find out about how Lakeland is connected to volcanoes. It's a pretty cool trip. February 12th, we're going to take you to the State Fair for a day. That will include your admission ticket, if I remember correctly. Make sure I didn't mess that up. Nope. Purchase tickets on arrival. Now, if you want to just go over to Tampa and go to the casino, we will make a run to the casino as well. So you can either do the fair or the casino, or if you get an Uber across I-4 there, you could probably do both. Great day to go see the fair. It'll be during the day. We'll probably arrive about 10:30 or 11, leave mid-afternoon, so give you about 4 to 5 hours on site. February 13th to 18th, we've got the New Orleans trip. Lori was just looking this up on Travelocity today. New Orleans is the #1 requested destination in North America. Did you know that? So since everybody's requesting it, we're going to go there. Now, a couple things to know about New Orleans. Their COVID restrictions are pretty tight, especially compared to Florida. So most places you go indoors, they're going to ask you to wear a mask. And if you have not had COVID vaccinations, you might not be able to get in some doors. You will want to bring proof of your COVID vaccinations. However, that's the downside. The upsides, there's a bunch of them. We got all juries on the trip. We're going to stay in the Jury Mobile 2 nights. We're staying at the Jury Plaza on Canal Street in New Orleans 3 nights. You guys all know how juries work. You got the 5:30 kickback. You got cocktails, great breakfast, real good hotel. We're going to get a New Orleans city tour on Valentine's Day. We're going to do the World War II Museum. And the day we've done the World War II Museum, we set it up especially to make sure everybody gets to do what they want. So John here, being a veteran, he probably would hang around in that museum the entire day, memorize every single
Isn't that what
sign.
they do, those landing crafts?
I don't know. I haven't been in there, so I'm not sure what exactly is in there. But John will probably spend the whole day in the museum. Some of you ladies might be done with the museum in an hour and a half. So we've given you the whole day to plan for yourself that day. So if you're done with the museum, you want to go to the aquarium or go to Harrah's Casino or go stroll around the French Quarter and have a great Cajun lunch, you can do all that. The pass we've got for the World War II Museum, if you decide halfway through the afternoon you missed some things, your pass will get you back in the door till closing time. So that's a pretty good deal there. We've got a Harbor Jazz sightseeing cruise up the Mississippi. Mardi Gras World. Mardi Gras is going to be taking place just a week or two after we're there.
Yeah.
So that the floats and the costumes and things will be getting prepared while we're at the Mardi Gras World. That's where they actually manufacture this stuff. And again, plenty of time in the French Quarter, and the Harrah's is just a couple blocks down the street from the hotel. So if you like the casino action, you've got that right there for you. Lunch Bunch in February will be at Rooster Fish. That's up in Largo. That's a new place. Looking forward to it. There was a recommendation from one of the customers. Anybody want to own up to it? Was that you?
She loves rooster fish.
Do you?
Love it.
So-
Oh,
So they should all go, right?
Right behind you.
What kind of food is it?
I'm trying to remember. It's just kind of an American. They had some seafood on the
My
menu.
seafood.
Fair amount of seafood. I've got my usual. I do a burger, a chicken, and a seafood.
What is lunch bunch?
I'm so glad you asked that. This young lady asked me, what is lunch bunch? Lunch bunch, number one, you try to keep it to a budget. So it's generally 5 hours or less. It's a short day. We celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. So if it's your birthday in January, you're going to find a tiara and a birthday card and a beautiful necklace on your seat with a card for your birthday. And we sing happy birthday to everybody for that month. If you have perfect attendance, who had perfect attendance in 2021? A couple of you, but they're not listening to me back there. Ed did. If you have perfect attendance, my wife makes some jewelry for you for the December lunch bunch. And that's kind of it. We go out, we have a nice lunch, we have a little dessert, and everybody socializes. A lot of times folks haven't seen each other since the last lunch bunch, so there's a lot of conversation going on. It's a nice trip. And it's budgeted tightly, so I don't spend a lot on it. February 19th, we're going to go back up north to the Dunedin Craft Fair. The real hook for taking the bus to the Dunedin Craft Fair is if you try to park a car in downtown Dunedin, there is not a lot of parking. So the bus will get you right in there, right into the thick of it, drop you off, and pick you up about 4.5 hours later. So you have time to get some food, look at some crafts, listen to some bagpipes. I'm sure there'll be bagpipes up there. And should be a great time in Dunedin. February 20th, going down by Fort Myers to the Immokalee Casino for Rockabilly. They're going to have live bands all day. They're going to have antique cars, motorcycle show, mustache contest. I got the winner right there. We got a tattoo contest. We'll get John in on that one. And they're going to have, like I said, live bands, food trucks, and then the casino's open too. So if you want to hit one of the restaurants in the casino or you want to go try and win some money, you can do all that. February 23rd, we've got Circus Sarasota, and that is down at University Town Center off of I-75 by Sarasota. We're going to drop you off at the mall for a couple hours, give you time to get lunch, do a little bit of shopping, and then I think it's a 2 p.m. show if I remember right, and it is behind the mall, and there's a little island, and there's a little bridge to the island, and that's where the tent is set up for the circus. And these are all world-class circus performers. Be a fantastic show for you.
Todd?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question for you. It says on here about the vaccines. Does that include a booster? You have to have your booster instead of the first?
For which trip?
Circus.
I don't believe the booster is a requirement. If you've had 2, I think you're good.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any places are requiring boosters yet.
Oh, all right. I didn't know.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
We'll try and keep on top of it.
All right.
It's one of those stories that changes almost every day too. February 24th at the Suncoast Broadway Theater up in Hudson, they're doing Kinky Boots. Who knows who wrote the songs for Kinky Boots? Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, Cyndi Lauper. Great performer, great singer. She's not on stage for this, but you'll feel her presence on the stage through her art. Great show. What's that?
Your dot, so I know if it's full.
Dots.
Yeah,
Green,
yellow,
yellow,
or
red.
red, or green.
I only do that for the January ones.
Oh,
Nothing after January is filled up, as far as I know. February 26th, we're going to do the Angel Tea Room. That's up in Dade City. And last time we were up there for the lunch stop when we saw the Giraffe Ranch, a couple folks tried this out and gave it a real good report and said we should go there for a tea. So we're going to go there for a tea. And one of the questions I always ask the tea rooms, are my people going to leave your tea room hungry and sad? And she said, no, we will feed them well. They will not look longingly at the first McDonald's you drive by on the way
Stop
home.
at the giraffe place?
Sorry?
You say that's a lunch stop at the giraffe place?
No, we found it when we went to the Giraffe Ranch.
Oh,
We're not going to the Giraffe Ranch on this. It is just going to the tea room. Okay. So that's how we found it. Okay. February 27th, we're going to see the great singer Engelbert Humperdinck at Ruth Eckerd Hall.
he's still alive.
He is still alive, just barely. But you can tell he's up there in years. Here's why you know he's up there. It's a 2 p.m. show. So it's late enough he can sleep in and have a nice brunch. But it's early enough he can get to the early bird when he's done singing. And then he can get tucked in bed to watch Lawrence Welk after that. But it'll be a fantastic show. He's still a great singer. I pulled up some recent video of him on YouTube, and that man can still belt out a tune. So, since it's January, start of a new year, I thought it's a good time to do a quick review of the Travel is Fun Tours website, tifftours.com. So, those of you who have a smartphone, if you know how to use your smartphone, or if you have a computer at home, you can get all the information that I put out here on your computer, or even better, on your smartphone, which is really handy when we're riding around on the bus. I'm going to point out all the important parts of the slide of the website to you. So when you go to tifftours.com, that's what your screen will look like. Big colorful picture of the bus up top, 4 tabs, a few buttons right under the bus, and a nice cartoon of my dad there. If I cut the page in two, that's what the whole page looks like. If you were to scroll up and down, and some of you, this may be elementary school for you, but I have had people call the office, and that's all they could see, and they didn't know to scroll up and down on the side to see the rest of the page. So you have a scrolling button on the side to go up and down and see the rest of the page, in case you didn't know that. I won't point you out if you didn't know that.
Question.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have Wi-Fi on the bus?
We
Intermittent.
Yeah, we do have Wi-Fi on the bus, but it's not particularly useful in my book. The Wi-Fi connects to cellular networks just like your phone does. If you're in an area with not good cell coverage, the bus isn't going to have good coverage either. It's not like it's a satellite or something like that. Elon Musk doesn't have that all figured out yet. I never turn on my Wi-Fi on the bus, number one, to try and leave more Wi-Fi bandwidth for anybody trying to use it. Because if we're all trying to share it, then it goes really slow. If only a few of you are using it, it's a little faster. But it's there, but it's not great. And there's no such thing as awesome Wi-Fi on a bus as far as I've ever seen. Okay, moving along. So at the top of the page, you got 4 buttons: Home, About Us, Parking and Departures, and Contact Us. We're looking at the home page here. So up at the very top, there's 3 buttons right under the bus: YouTube Live, there's a mailbox one, and Travel Insured. So if you click on YouTube Live, for those of you at home, that's how you got here. You click on that button, it's going to take you to the YouTube page. Look down below here. You'll have today's travel club presentation. Should be at the top left. It should have today's date on it. You click on that, and on your computer or your phone, or if you're really smart, if you're casting it to your TV, you'll be looking through that camera right there and watching the travel club meeting. We started doing that when COVID was really bad and everything was shut down. And I did the travel club meeting from my desk for a few months. Although we had a lot of technical difficulties at first. It's gotten better. So that's that. If you go back and we want to get you on the mailing list, we use Constant Contact to mail people. Click that envelope, takes you to my Constant Contact page. Put in your email address, first and last name, hit sign up, and you'll be on my mailing list. So anytime I send out a notice, which is usually only maybe 2-3 times a month, then you'll get notified of upcoming trips or when the next travel club meeting is, things like that. And finally, the third button, Travel Insured International. We used to sell the insurance right from our office as part of the sale of your trip. The company we deal with changed how that works. So now you have to go to our website, click Travel Insured, and that will take you to their website. And you can see up at the top, no, you can't. Behind where it says get a quote, it says Travel is Fun, so that they know we sent you there. But you put in your name, date of birth, details of your trip, how much you paid, and it'll quote you how much your insurance will cost. Put in a credit card number, and now you're insured. Okay, sliding down a little further, you can see there's Dad up at the top. Click on him, and you get a copy of the white sheet, with all the day trips and multi-day trips on it. It's formatted a little differently than this one. How many of you guys keep legal size paper next to your printer at home?
No.
Barbara, of course, does. No shock there. Okay, other than Barbara, none of us normal people have legal size paper at home. So it's reformatted to fit on 8.5 by 11 for your printer. And it's also, since it's on 4 pages now, I'm able to make the print a little bit bigger, so the font's a little bit bigger. So this is the Reader's Digest Easy Reading version. If you click on any of the multi-day tours, so you want to click on Biltmore, you got Smoky's Fall Foliage there. That's an old one, but that was a Biltmore Asheville trip we did. And you can get the same flyer that I've got in the back by Ollie or on the rack at the office. Sliding down a little further, if you're on Lunch Bunch and you want all the details on the menu for the next Lunch Bunch, I always have that on the website. If you say something nice about me, if you post a nice review on Google or TripAdvisor, or you send us an email thanking us for a nice trip, I save every nice comment you guys make about us, and I rotate them through on the website. So you might, if you send me a nice email, you might find yourself on the front page. I won't use your full name. I just put your last initial on there. Then down below that is all our contact information. So over here, email address, physical address, hours, phone numbers. The important part down here, it tells you last time I updated the website. So if you go there and you looked at the website a week ago and that date hasn't changed, then you know I haven't put anything new on. If you see it's yesterday's date, then it's worth looking around to see what's new.
When you were talking about insurance, is that mandatory?
No,
Optional?
it's optional. I highly recommend it though, especially on a bigger multi-day tour.
On a long-term tour?
Yeah, for 2 or 3 day, 2, 3, 4 day tours, I would roll the dice there. If you're talking a week or more, you're talking a significant amount of money to lose, then I would definitely look real hard at buying the insurance. Jumping into March 2nd, we're going to have Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville. No, Jimmy Buffett will not be there personally. It's a musical that has been put together around Jimmy Buffett songs, kind of like the ABBA movie, Mamma Mia. So similar to that, they've got a whole story built around Jimmy Buffett songs. And again, that's down at the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. Great food, cash bar, amazing desserts. I was just there for New Year's. I'm still working off the dessert table. March 4th and 13th, we're going to do the Strawberry Festival. We'll probably arrive at the Strawberry Festival between 11 and 11:30. You'll have time to go get some lunch, maybe catch a pig race. And then the concerts are at 3:30. On the 4th, they're going to have the Beach Boys playing. On the 13th, it's the Bellamy Brothers. Your entry ticket to the Strawberry Festival is included, I hope. Yep, festival admission. However, a reserved seat for the concert is not included. If you want a reserved seat, you can go on their website or call their number and order tickets. A lot of times they still have some tickets left over at the box office on the day of, if you want to just get them there. If you don't care a whole lot about actually sitting in a seat and watching the performance, you will hear the performance no matter where you are on the Strawberry Festival grounds. You will hear it if you're about a mile from the Strawberry Festival grounds. They have very good speakers. So that is the Strawberry Festival, and then we always leave right after the concert's over. March 5th, we're going to do the Coatee River Cruise, and that's lunch on your own at Widow Fletcher's, and then a nice cruise on the Coatee River after. You're going to go out into the Gulf, see some of the stilt houses. One of them used to be owned by Johnny Cash. So a lot of interesting history out there, a lot of good sightseeing. Coatee River is up near Port Richey, just off of US 19, crosses 19. March 7th, we're going to just do a day trip over to the Hard Rock Casino. Give you about 4.5, 5 hours there. Let you win some money, lose some money, have a nice lunch. March 14th, Andre Rieu's coming. And I promised to give you guys a score. I got 2 concerts going on March 14th. Andre Rieu and Blue Man Group. So right now, Andre Rieu is winning. So Andre Rieu has about 25 folks signed up. Blue Man Group has about 6. So we're probably gonna fold the Blue Man Group date and just concentrate on Andre Rieu. If you don't know who Andre Rieu is,
No.
he is a concert conductor, has a beautiful orchestra called the Blue Danube Orchestra. He plays waltzes and that sort of music and film music. He's got beautiful girls in gorgeous dresses that he designs himself, and they dance on the stage. He's got a dance floor down in the audience, and a lot of the audience gets up and dances. One thing to know about Andre Rieu is whatever you pay for the ticket, you will get your money's worth, because the man has never done less than 5 curtain calls. Funny story, one of the first times we did Andre Rieu, I didn't know all this. I hadn't warned people. We had one couple, the curtain went down. They thought the concert was over. They came out to the bus. And then they sat on the bus. And then they sat on the bus some more. About 45 minutes later, the other people finally started coming out of the theater and joining them on the bus. I said, what on earth took so long? They're like, well, he did 6 encores. Well, nobody told us that. Well, you jumped up too early. Anyway, Andre Rieu, great show. It'll be at Amelia Arena. And we have pretty darn nice tickets for you. I'm going to skip Blue Man Group. March 17th, we're going to Lunch Bunch at Alfanos Italian restaurant. That's up in Clearwater. And it may occur to you, why am I doing an Italian restaurant on St. Patrick's Day? Well, I was doing some research on that very question, and I found out. How many of you know that there are arguments that can be made that St. Patrick was Italian? Both of his parents were Romans and came from Rome. So by parentage, he could technically be considered Italian, even though he was born in Ireland. Anyway, great lunch. Alfanos does a spectacular job. We'll have a lot of fun celebrating the great Italian St. Patrick. March 18th, we're going to go see Greater Tuna at the Off-Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. And that's the littler theater. It's got theater-style seating. And it's a hilarious comic satire, launches into side-splitting amusement when the residents of the fictional South Texas town of Tuna come hysterically to life. Just 2 actors portray 20 men and women.
Wow.
Could you handle that, Marina?
No.
You can do 10 parts.
No.
Come on. And 20 men and women and a dog, so that's 21 parts. In a tour de farce of quick change artistry, the audience is taken through all the quirks, foibles, and downright insanities of the citizens of Tuna. And again, the food is amazing down there. March 20th, we're going to do My Big Fat Italian Funeral, and that's at Murders, She Wrote. Here's the write-up on that. Bada bing. Come watch as the mystery deepens over how the Tortellini family matriarch is found dead under questionable circumstances. Is the sexy Southern bride of family Salvatorio hiding a motive? Does the ditzy and English language fracturing Philomena know more than she's pronouncing? Will the tragically angst-filled and fashion-aware son, Nicodemo, ever be happy with the family taste? And let's not forget the husband of the deceased, Luigi. Will his obsession with olive oil get him in trouble, or will it be his roaming eyes? Hilarious and dysfunctional family drama loudly unfolds as we learn the dark secrets of the Tortellini family and business. And they're going to have this at Harold Seltzer's Steakhouse up in Clearwater, so the food should be really good. We did these guys at a hotel in Clearwater, and the food was so-so, and the service wasn't great. So moving to Harold Seltzer should be a vast improvement for this.
So it's going to be at Harold Seltzer's
Why does it say?
Yes.
in Port Richard.
Port Richard?
I'm sorry, Port Richey.
Okay,
You said Clearwater.
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the sheet.
we got one down the street there.
Mark that down that I made a mistake.
What?
Write that down.
Yep,
All the newspapers.
I know. March 26th, we're going to do MacDill Air Force Base Air Fest. And they're going to have the Blue Angels will be there performing for you. last time I was there, well, last time I did it, it rained like a son of a gun and lightning hit the airfield and we all had to evacuate. But everybody was a really good sport. We went to University Mall and hung out for a couple hours, hoping the weather would clear. Just as we reloaded the bus, they opened the base back up. We got there just in time for them to lock the gates because the airplanes were starting. So we found I found a parking lot at a warehouse a couple blocks from McDill, and I pulled up the narration on my phone and played it as loud as I could. And we had our chairs, because we buy you chairs, to sit in to watch the show. So we sat in a parking lot at a warehouse and watched the planes fly, which turned out pretty good. Everybody actually was a good sport and had a nice day. Hopefully this one goes much smoother and the lightning doesn't chase us off post. But again, you're going to be given a folding camp chair, a lightweight one. You can carry that around, and when the planes start to do their tricks, you can set that up in the shade somewhere, sit down, and watch a great show unfold right in front of you. Yeah, not much shade. Wear a good hat. March 27th, we're going to do Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Oh, that's good.
And I've got to fix that site. Ollie, would you make one note for me to take Golden Corral off of there? I meant to do that last month.
Where's it at?
That is at the Stage West Playhouse in Brooksville, Florida.
That was spring.
Spring Hill is right next to Brooksville. You can throw a rock from one to the other. We won't be going to the Golden Corral because the show is kind of right between lunch and dinner. So it'll just be a trip up to Spring Hill for the show and then a trip back after the show.
Is Golden Corral included?
No,
It's separate.
we're not going there.
Oh, you're not going.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
St. Augustine Trolley Tour, we just added that. That's going to be March 28th to 30th now. Last month, I gave you different dates on that. It had to get shifted a little bit because of hotel availability. But you're going to have 2 nights at the fantastic Courtyard Marriott St. Augustine. We stayed there for the Christmas lights tours. The hotel is amazing. They've got a nice bar and restaurant right in the lobby. And actually, a fair number of folks spent almost as much time hanging out at this hotel as they did running around St. Augustine on that trip. They had such a good time there. We've got a familiarization ride around St. Augustine. You're going to get a 1.5-day trolley ticket where you can get on and off at all the attractions. You can see all the sites that you can work in that 1.5 days. The Castillo de San Marcos, the big fort. There is the distillery, the winery, the chocolate factory, Potter's Wax Museum, the oldest schoolhouse, the oldest drugstore, the old jail, the giant cross commemorating where they first landed, Flagler College, Leitner Museum. There is a Pirates Museum. There is the Spanish Colonial Village, and that's not even close to everything you could do there. So great chance. It's basically the same itinerary we use at Christmas time, except we're not going out to look at Christmas lights at night. We're not doing a group dinner. So you've got a lot more free time to work in, seeing everything you could want to see at St. Augustine. And the nice thing is March should be a good time of year, not too hot, not too cold. Should be a real pleasant time of year to be there. So a little bit more of the website. Jumping in, if you click on About Us, that takes you to this page. And that's what the whole page looks like if you scroll through the whole thing. There's the top, there's the bottom. And starting at the top, the top bubble there tells you about the Travel is Fun Travel Club. If you want to join and you need an application to send in with your information, click on Mabel's name tag there, and it'll take you to the page you can print. Fill that in, send it in with your $14, and now you're a member. Just below that, we have a bubble telling you about March first class buses and the buses we use. If you go down below that, we've got some information on the insurance company we use, and that's Travel Insured International. If you click on the logo there, again, that will take you to their website where you can buy the insurance for the trip you just got. Jumping into April, the month you've been waiting for, April 1st to 4th, we've got a 4-day trip to Eufaula, Alabama. one of the most beautiful little towns in the South. And Eufaula is unique because at the end of the Civil War, when Sherman's troops were marching, clearing the South, burning everything in their path, they were just about to burn down Eufaula when a messenger got there and said, hey, the war's over. You can put out the torches. Well, the Union Army generals did that. They put out the torches, and then they went down and occupied all those beautiful mansions, drank all the wine and brandy, smoked all the cigars, and had a great time waiting for the orders to leave. We're going to head out there on day one. We have a nice driving tour. Then we go to dinner in a beautiful mansion that was actually featured in the movie Sweet Home Alabama. You get 7 meals included on this one, so you will not starve. After dinner, we're going to have a candlelight tour of one of the featured mansions on the tour. Day 2, we're going to have a step-on guide to take us around town, tell us the history, and we're going to go from mansion to mansion where the families will welcome us and tell us the history of that mansion. We'll have a lunch and a dinner included on that day. Day 3, we're going to go downtown where they have a quilt festival, an antique show, art show, food trucks, all that stuff going on. Lunch is on your own that day. And then we head back to towards Florida. We're going to make it to Valdosta that afternoon, where we're staying at the Drury Inn and Suites Valdosta for the last night of the tour, and then home on day 4. On day 4, we'll probably stop at the Nut House and probably get you into the Russell Stover too. That's okay. We'll protect you, Ed. We won't let them take you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
April 2nd, we've got a neat show. If you're not in Eufaula with us, we're going to have 3 redneck tenors at the Suncoast Broadway Theater. And these guys are more than they sound like. They're a new breed in the tenor genre. They're a musical comedy featuring classically trained veteran artists. It's like Duck Dynasty goes to Carnegie Hall. Down-home laughs with big city music. It's been said that if Larry the Cable Guy, Il Divo, and Mrs. Doubtfire had a baby, that child would be the 3 redneck tenors. Holy moly. They were also top finalists on America's Got Talent. So it should be a great show, and the food has gotten really good up at Suncoast Broadway. April 3rd, Ruth Eckerd Hall. We're going to have one night in Memphis, and I think we're doing that as it's a matinee with a brunch buffet at Ruth Eckerd Hall, and they do really good brunch buffets there. If you don't know the story of One Night in Memphis, it's a true story. And one night in the recording studio, Elvis is hanging out, and Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash shows up, and they all just start jamming. So this is a musical theater performance of what that night was like with these 4 amazing superstars there. So you know you're going to have some fantastic music and a nice brunch to boot. April 7th, we're going to go out to Mount Dora and take you on the Mount Dora Canal boat ride. We're going to get there probably about 11:30 and give you time for strolling around Mount Dora, having a nice lunch. And then at 2 p.m., we're going to meet at the boat dock and go for a great historic tour through the canals of Mount Dora and back. We're going to start and finish near the Lakeside Inn for that one. April 9th, we're going to go do the Herman's Royal Lipizzans. I haven't done them in several years. And if you don't know the story of Herman's Royal Lipizzans, they actually have a really touching story. At the end of World War II, the Hitler's troops were destroying anything of value they could get their hands on. Well, if you know a little bit about General George Patton, he started as a cavalry soldier, and he adores horses. And he knew that these horses were trapped in Austria, and the Nazis were about to destroy these fine animals. So they put together a mission with Patton's troops to get as many of those horses out of Austria as they could before the Nazis could destroy them. So Herman's Royal Lipizzans are the descendants of those horses. They put on an amazing show. They're one of the only horses that can jump and get all 4 hooves off the ground at the same time. We're also going to combine that with a trip to Sarasota and give you your choice. It'll be lunch on your own. You can either go to Yoder's or to Der Dutchman. Now, we don't do Yoder's very often because it's tough to deal with a bus group. They will not take a reservation. You've got to stand in line for a seat. So those who are dying to try Yoder's, we're going to drop you off first, let you get in and get your lunch. We'll take the rest of them to Der Dutchman. And then when Der Dutchman's done, we'll come back and get the Yoder's folks. And that gives you a chance at Yoder's if you want it. April 12th at the Straz, we're going to see Cirque Eloise. And that's over in Tampa, right off of 275. And Cirque Eloise is another one of these Cirque du Soleil style shows. It's not the old-fashioned circus with animals, but it does have clowns and acrobats and great music, and should be a spectacular show. April 16th, another one we haven't done in several years. We're going back down to Paradise Ranch, and that's down near Mayaca, if I remember right. And it's the Weld performing bears that live there. Very sweet animals, well-trained bears. You've probably seen some of them in TV, movies, and commercials. And they're going to include a very nice lunch for you there as it's listed on the sheet. Oh, one thing not listed on the sheet for lunch, they're throwing in ice cream just because they like us. April 17th, we're going to do a day trip over to Kennedy Space Center. And if you haven't been to Kennedy Space Center in 5-10 years, you've missed a lot. Just the Atlantis exhibit with the space shuttle there is worth the price of admission all by itself. There's a lot of new things to see, too, with SpaceX and the Orion space capsules. You can see what the future of space travel is going to look like with a lot of that. April 21st, we're trying a new place called Benedict's up in Dunedin. And it's mostly a breakfast place, but they do breakfast and lunch. They close at 3. So we're going to go I'll have Eggs Benedict will be on the menu and some good lunch items as well. And some nice scenery up there in Dunedin. One of the things that's changed on Lunch Bunch is my minimum used to be 4 hours. My minimum is 5 hours now. So we're going to do a little bit more sightseeing on Lunch Bunch than we used to, since we have that extra hour to play with. Yes, ma'am.
There's a Benedict's on Park Boulevard right across from Sam's Club. Are they related?
Yes, yeah, it's all one franchise.
Well, I've eaten there. They have the best eggs Benedict I've ever eaten.
There you go. Thumbs up from Miss Buffy. April 24th. You guys have been requesting going back to Key West. So we're going to go do Key West. And that is going to be a 4-day, 3-night trip. We're going to be staying in Kendall, Florida. It's near Miami. So day 1, you're going to do a lot of sightseeing. You're going to see gators. You're going to see the Everglades. You're going to do an airboat ride, and then you'll get to the hotel. Day 2 will be our day in Key West. So we'll leave the hotel in the morning, go down across I think it's 42 bridges across the Keys, and all the way down to Key West. You'll have the afternoon and early evening in Key West. At 7 p.m., we'll turn around and head back to the hotel. Day 3 will be a day touring Miami with a boat ride and visits to the Millionaire's Row and all that stuff. And then on day 4, we'll be seeing some sights on the ride home. Monday, April 25th. Who here likes the Eagles? It's a good band, isn't it? I know I grew up with them. Well, there's a fantastic cover band called the Alter Eagles. What a great name. They're going to be at the Venice Theater. So that's like a 2 p.m. performance, like 2 to 4. And so after the performance, we're going to stick around and give you a chance to get dinner and do a little strolling in downtown Venice. There's a ton of real nice restaurants right near that theater. April 28th, one of my favorite musicals of all time, Camelot, is coming to the Suncoast Broadway. And if you want to have a long, long conversation, get me started talking about Camelot and the meaning of it and the symbolism, because that was my favorite growing up. Once Upon a... what are some of the songs? Well, of course, the title song, Camelot. What Do the Simple Folks Do? Fie on Goodness. Having Vapor Lock. I know there's a bunch more songs. But it's the story of King Arthur and Guinevere and Lancelot. and it's really a tragedy in the end. It's got a lot of beautiful emotion to the story, but I use it to teach my scouts about the rule of law when we talk about citizenship in the nation and how important the rule of law is. So it's a lot deeper than just a Broadway musical in my book. Anyway, it's got some of the most beautiful songs. I was privileged when I was in college. I got to see not Richard Harris. Oh, who was the other guy who toured with it a lot? Robert Goulet. I saw Robert Goulet at the Mahaffey in Camelot when I was in college. Never forget it. It was fantastic. Anyway, great food up there too, besides a wonderful show. So to wrap up, looking at the website, part 3 of the website is parking and departures. Probably other than the front page, this is the most important page and the most useful. Because if you want to know what time does my tour leave, and it's Saturday night and I'm not at work, and you lost the note that you wrote your departure time for Sunday morning on, how on earth can you find out what time the bus is leaving? Well, you can go to our website, click on parking and departures, and scroll down. And on this page, it will tell you the next 2 months of departure times. So if Sunday or Monday morning's trip, you lost that time, you can always look it back up. If you want to be really organized, you click on this button here, and you get your own copy of all the departure times that you can hang on the refrigerator. And you'll never be late. Now, one thing to know about this, I adore my dad. I love you, Dad. But there's somebody put their hand over the camera for a minute. Dad likes to tinker, and he likes to change departure times after I've given them to you guys. So what do we do in that case? If we change a departure time on a trip, then when you look here, it's going to be in bold. It'll be in bold, nice big bold letters. That'll tell you there's been a change there. So one good habit to get into is the day before the trip, take one last look at the website and make sure that time has not changed. One thing we do also, if the time changes after we've given it to people, we go on that sheet, we take my big eraser and I erase everybody I told the time to and start from scratch. I still love you, Dad. The pickup locations. Has anybody ever tried to give somebody directions to Tyrone Gardens from, say, Seminole or Clearwater? And don't you want to pull your hair out? I know I do. Ed obviously has tried that a lot. Oh, burn. Poor Ed. So if you want to get somebody to one of our pickup locations, this page will get you there. It's got different sections. On the left-hand side is Tyrone. On the right-hand side is Seminole. At the top is a little paragraph describing where to go. Next below that is a Google Map link. If you click on that Google Map, you can go in and you can put in your starting address and get turn-by-turn directions to our pickup location. Below that is a cartoon kind of map that makes it real easy to see where to park. So here we are at Tyrone Gardens. We're right there between Chuck E. Cheese and Winn-Dixie. And here's the parking areas we use down there. And so you can print that out and show somebody exactly where they should park. This is what the Google map looks like. So if you click on the Google map for Tyrone Gardens, there's the office. If you click here where it says directions, it's going to pop up a window asking where you're starting from. Go ahead and click enter on that, and it'll give you those turn-by-turn directions. You can print them out if you want. Then finally on the contact us page, there's basically a repeat of how to find our office. This one actually has our office address. The other one is kind of tuned to right where the pickup is. So it's slightly different, but they'll both get you to Tyrone Gardens. And then below that, if you don't know how to use your email, but you want to send us an email, you can send us a message through the website down here. You fill in all those boxes, hit send, and we'll get an email from you in the office. Sometimes we'll get two. I don't know why. Sometimes it does doubles. Okay, holidays. What day is it? Let's see. We were just discussing that up here. Today is curried chicken day. I don't know if anybody had curried chicken for lunch.
National Pharmacist Day.
Are you a pharmacist? Are you just a fan of?
I saw it this morning.
Oh, okay. You just knew about it. Are you a fan of pharmacists? Want to date a pharmacist? It is also the Feast of Fabulous Wild Men Day, and Ed ran out before I could mess with him for that. Who is a redhead or former redhead? It's National Kiss a Ginger Day. So everybody go kiss Barbara before you go. It's National Hot Tea Day, National Marzipan Day. As we said, National Pharmacist Day. It is Stick to Your New Year's Resolution Day. Good luck. And this is every day in my office when Lori's sitting next to me. It's Work Harder Day because Lori's always telling me to work harder, aren't you, sister? Anyway, let's see. Rumor mill, things coming up. We've got Key West coming up. I told you about that. We got the Lakeland Balloon Festival. We're going to try and do that in May. I'm starting on that. And the Great Northeast Tour, it's going to be going to Vermont. Now, hopefully within the next month or so, we'll have that all detailed out for you.
Will that be in the fall?
It'll be end of September and into the first week of October. Fall foliage, plenty of that. Yes, ma'am. So does anybody have any questions for me? Questions going once, going twice? Our next travel club meeting will be February 9th. Oh, we do have a proclamation from young Miss Marina. So Miss Marina, the floor is yours. Where'd Jacob?
Well, if anyone used to love the TV show Gilligan's Island, it's now a play and it's a
They're
musical.
leaving before you.
And it opens tomorrow night. It's at the Catherine Hickman Theater in Gulfport. And it runs through the 23rd. And I'll be playing Lovey Howl.
Yay.
There's a flyer in the back and he's going to put one up at the window of Baby.
You just did that so that you could get the expensive costumes, didn't you?
No.
And the fancy hats. No?
I am wearing a hat, yes.
Yes.
And a
Already got my
parasol.
ticket.
I'm sorry?
I already have my ticket.
Yay!
I needed
Oh,
to.
good. And I know the back table has tickets too.
What is it, a play? I've been at that Gulfport Senior Center.
Down close to the senior center. In that same street.
I've been there.
Not very big.
Okay. Again, next month's meeting, February 9th, right back here at 1:30. And remember to tip your servers. They work hard. So you guys want to know where in the world was?
Yeah.
You ready?
I've never been.
It is the Shorter Mansion in Eufaula, Alabama. And that was the filming location from Sweet Home, Alabama. That Reese Witherspoon pretends is her house. Anyway, our winner today with the best answer is Marina Spears. So Marina, honorable mention, Buffy, you were darn close. She just edged you out a little this time. But good job, guys.
Done for the year.
Done for the year.
Let's see. Okay, we got some other prizes to give away. Should I give away a fortune cookie? No. Okay, I'm going to start with cotton candy. So let's see. Who's going to win the cotton candy? That goes to Pat Crooks. Where's Pat? There you are.
Yay, Pat.
Cotton candy. Okay. Let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's do, this was donated by Buffy. This is, it's gigantic dark chocolate bar. Make sure you share that with a few folks. Where's Dale Hallenbeck? Dale, way in the back there. Making the exercise. There you go.
In fact, they printed their sheets on the computer.
Okay, let's see. Now, what do you guys think should be the top prize? Is it a bag of assorted Ghirardelli chocolates,
Yes.
or is it a small bottle of wine?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate? Boy, you guys are on the same track as the folks at the Harbor Lights this morning. Okay, so the next prize will go to, where'd Barb Soha go?
She went down to the bathroom. I'll give her-
Okay, she gets the wine. Make sure it gets to her.
Yeah, she likes wine.
Okay. She gets a little bit of wine. Here comes Jay with prizes. And my last prize, then, of course, is the top prize,
I want that.
the Ghirardelli chocolates. We did throw Buffy back in, right?
I guess so.
I think so. I think I did. Oh, sorry, Buffy. You gotta make friends with Lucy England. Lucy, you get some nice chocolates. You're very welcome. Okay, that concludes my part of the presentation. Jay's got a few things to tell you. And so here's Jay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jay, Cutting Edge Travel. I'm in the office with Todd, Lori, and Pat. And so,
Or does he just put things on?
just a little update, the cruises are still going.
Tell you that-
Some are canceled, some are still going, it just depends on the cruise line. Planes are still going, you have to wear a mask on the plane. Some cruise lines now, instead of getting tested 2 days before, they're actually testing at the cruise port, so you don't have to get tested. NCL has now started that. So everything just changes day by day in my world, so, yeah. So that's where we're at. Basically, people are still traveling. Please call me if you want to go someplace or if you want to go on a cruise. And that's it for me. So we'll draw for a couple of prizes.
That was
And
easy.
any questions? No? Meaning of life or?
42.
Besides cruises, do you do regular travel plans?
Yes, yep, everything.
If
Yep.
I want to go to San Miguel Allende.
Yep.
Mexico. You got some red line for that?
Thanks for joining us at home, and we will see you next month, February 9th, right back here.
I'll talk to you. I want to go to San Miguel Allende.
So who guessed? Did somebody guess it on where it was?
Yes, it was Marina.
She got it.
So let me call a few names for you. How about Judy Schmidilla? There's Miss Judy. Judy gets a prize out of Jay's prize box.
Whoops.
Jay's throwing stuff all over.